What it is, people, it's your boy Doggie Diamonds. You already know how I do. ForbesDVD.com. I got my homegirl here. Don't think that she's on here because she's on the show and I just met her. I've known her for a while now. This is my homegirl. Let me know who you are, man.
I am Viv, the NYC Gossip Girl, owner of HipHopGossipSite.com and cast member of VH1's The Gossip Game.
Who's done many interviews.
I try. Not like you. You're the king of interviews.
Something
you're
like
king,
that.
Right?
Yeah. What's your most popular interview you've done?
I would say my most popular interview was with DeHaven.
DeHaven, yeah. You broke that story.
Yeah.
I was jealous of that one.
You like that one?
Yeah. So, all right. So when you do an interview and you interview somebody, what's the feedback from the people who might be getting spoken about in the interview?
What's the feedback?
Like DeHaven talked about Jay-Z. Is there anything from Jay-Z's camp that's not liking you or?
No, I don't get nothing like that. Honestly, a lot of the people never knew who DeHaven was, and so a lot of the comments that are on there is, who is this guy, and he's mad, and this and that. You know, I kept my interview very open-minded. I didn't take sides. You know, I even asked him like a devil's advocate question, like, you know, if this was your friend, why would you curse out the mother? You know, so I never take sides when I interview people. And I think that's why I never got any flack from it. So your website again is what? HipHopGossipSite.com. So the Gossip Game. You're a part of the Gossip Game. Yes. I've seen you have beef with people about the gossip that you put out there. Yes. You've had issues with, put it out there. Tamar Braxton. Okay. Rich Dollars. Okay. Erica Mena. Couple others. Because you put out what was out there. I put out what was given to me, and it was an exclusive. And sometimes when you get those exclusives, it can cause people not to like you because it very well may be true. And has there been a time where you remove content? Occasionally, I'll remove content. I had an issue at one point in time with Miss Jones. And I had put up some documents, and I didn't know it had her personal information on there. I took it down. I didn't realize that that's what I did. I issued an apology. I did various radio stations apologizing to her. You know, I didn't mean to do that. That wasn't supposed to go down like that. So is it a time when you ever look at it and say, this might ruin a person's life, I'm not putting this out there? Yeah, I get some stuff like that. You know, me and you had a conversation one time. We had gotten an email about a certain video vixen. And it was just killing her from the floor to the ceiling. And and we both decided we're not going to touch it. Right. One, because she's a friend of mine and yours. And two, it's like, even if that was true, that's not for me to put that out there. Because a lot of people think we're just smear campaign people. We just want all the smut and, you know, things that could damage people. But, you know, some things we do say, I'm not going to touch this one. I'm going to leave this one alone. Yeah, definitely. So how did you get on the show? At the time, I had a publicist who was good friends with one of the producers. And the show actually already had their cast. Okay. They were done. But one of the producers, Tone Boots, shouts to Tone Boots, he was looking for someone who wasn't really known, you know, someone fresh and someone new, and she recommended me to him. We interviewed, he loved me, then he had me meet with the VH1 execs, and they loved me, and they just wanted me to be a part of the show. Remember me and you had a prior conversation? I was like, you're going to do reality TV? Are you crazy? Yeah, I remember. This might ruin your life and everything. I know, but... The show... let them know what the name of the show is, just in case they're like, what show are they talking about? Oh, the show is VH1's The Gossip Game. So you're on the show, The Gossip Game, and all we see is Vivian and Ms.Drama going at it. But what do you call her? I call her Muttley. Okay. I know who Muttley is very well. You remember the cartoon? Of course. Okay. Yeah, Muttley used to be with Dick Dastardly. He knows it, okay. Muttley is funny as hell. Yes, he is. So what is y'all problem? What is overall your beef with her? Honestly, I don't have a beef with her. My only issue with her at that time was we were cool before the whole show even started. It was nothing like she knew my personal business or anything like that, but we were cool. And it just so happens that, you know, when she got around the cast, she became this extra flamboyant, ignorant, boisterous individual. So I told her to her face that if that's who she really is, then I don't like her. And I told her that to her face, you know, and she didn't like that. So instead of coming to me and telling me what she didn't like about me, she chose to talk about me behind my back. That came back to me, and so we're at a party. After I done heard, she said all this stuff about me behind my back, and she comes up to me at a party and says hi. Where I'm from, if I don't like you, I ain't telling you hi. Shit, yeah. I'm not doing it.
So what's refraining? Is there something in the contract in the clause that you can't break her jaw? Like, what's stopping you from breaking her jaw?
What stopped me, one, at these events, there were a lot of important people that I could possibly do business with in the future. You had Mike Kaiser. I mean, you had all kind of people at these points. You know? And so it was like, do I want to be known as the girl that swings and hooks off and is outrageous? Or can I, you know, pull it back and just curse her out and go on about my business? So, and it's no real beef. Like, she hasn't slept with my husband. She never stole money from me. So, really, is it really that serious for me to be beating this girl down? Like, she don't want it. She never got up out of her seat. So, she didn't even want to take it there. So,
basically, fuck her from here on out.
Yeah, she's a small thing.
So, I also know you, when me and you talked, you used to do a radio show with Steph Lova. What happened with that?
You so smart.
You're not on the show anymore.
No, I'm not on the show.
Because?
I don't fuck with her.
Okay.
She's not a loyal individual. She's reckless at the mouth. She just says whatever about whoever and just, that's who she is. So I told her to her face as well, if that's who you are, then I can't fuck with you. So I don't.
So is it at a point when y'all see each other, y'all gonna shoot that 5 or what?
She ain't about that life. Trust me. She's seen me and I've seen her. She's done.
No, because I've heard about you putting hands on a few people.
I have.
You know, broken a few chicks up.
No.
And stuff like that.
No.
So address that.
No.
So address that, because I've heard you broke chick rib before. Okay.
That's a rumor.
Okay.
Let me clear that up.
Okay.
We're talking about Erica Mena, right?
Yes.
Okay. Erica Mena has her own issues outside of VH1's Love and Hip Hop New York that have nothing to do with me.
Okay.
You know, she is who she is, and she acts up and cuss up with whoever she wants to. And whatever happened that day was obviously the wrong day for her because they handled her.
Was you in the building when she got
No.
Okay.
No.
So you wasn't around, because I'm trying to make sure.
I don't even know how people put me
I'm about to say, because I'm trying to make sure you ain't send a goon on the low and be like, I don't know what happened.
No.
So yeah, so Vivian did not break Erica.
I have nothing to do with it.
Okay.
And people keep thinking that I do. I don't know why.
So if Steph Lova is a DJ.
Is she?
Well, that's what I know her for, right? Steph Lova.
A DJ?
Yeah, I mean, that's DJ Steph Lova. That's her name, right?
No, I just thought it was Steph Lova.
Okay, I thought she always thought she was a DJ, but how do y'all personalities clash though? Like, I don't get how, cause this is what I want to try to dispel, that all women are catty and can't work together.
No. Let me. You know, that's a good question, because I was asked that question. I have a ton of female friends. I'm not a chick that walks around and says, I only have guys for friends because chicks are cat. That's so opposite from who I am. I have tons of chicks who are my friends who, I'm talking about from video vixens to rap stars to actresses. I have all kinds of friends. The difference now between me and Steph Lova is that I am who I am. I don't go and talk behind your back. I come straight to you. If I have an issue and we're friends, I should be able to pick up that phone and say, you know what, when you said this,
that
bothered me. So how can we repair that and move forward with our friendship? She's not that type. Okay. She gets mad with you, she'll go to him, Vivian's fucked up. You know how she talks. Yo, man, Vivian's fucked up. You know how she talks? Real deep and stuff, throaty. Yeah, that's why we don't get along.
So how do you balance marriage first and foremost, motherhood, with this new career? Do the kids know what's going on? I know the older kids probably know what's happening. But do the little ones, do they know that mommy's a TV star now? They are not allowed to see the show. Okay. I think that they're very much aware of what's going on, but they really don't understand or grasp what's going on. And how I balance it all is they ride with their mama. Yeah.
The hubby's there. The kids are in the background. You heard them answer.
So how did your husband creep into the show too? Cause he just in there like, how did he get in there?
He creeped in there.
Yeah,
right?
like I said, crazy. I respect like that how he did that right there.
Well, you know, when you do a reality show, you sign contracts and whatever is going on in your life, whether it be with a husband or your children or your friends, you know, without them consenting, they're a part of your life, and there may or may not be a time where they have to capture that part of your life. Not that they're part of the show, but
they're part of what's going on in your life. Your life hasn't changed, which is a surprise to me.
Yeah, it's cool. But I'm real regular, that's why.
Yeah, but what's the Pathmark trip like now? Do you go to Pathmark?
I go to Stop and Shop.
All right, Stop and Shop. But they ain't paying us, so we ain't gonna really, you know.
Right.
But you go to when you go food shopping, is there anybody saying, "Are you? Did you get that yet?"
No.
No autographs.
But you know what? I have signed a couple of autographs, which was very odd. And my son was like, "Oh, you giving out autographs now?" You know, because he's 21, and he was like, "For real?" But where I live. Not really so much. When I go to Manhattan, you know, or I go to Queens, people recognize me and they're like, oh, you know, like yesterday we were walking down the street. I was racing to do that Trinidad James interview. And this guy was like, Viv, what's going on? I thought it was somebody I knew. I was like, hey, how you doing? But I had to race. And I didn't know that man from a can of paint.
So what's next for you? What's the ultimate goal? You're doing the show. Which, you know, might be going for 50 seasons. It might go on for 2. Who knows?
I pray and claim that.
But what's next for you? What's the Vivian Billings? What's the bigger picture? What's the branding? Like, what are you trying to do from here?
Honestly, I'm trying to do radio, more TV, possibly movies, whatever I can get my hands into so that I can feed my family and live a better life than what I'm living now. That's the goal.
You have a clothing line.
Oh, Rich and Famous.
Yes. Got to put that out there. Yep. You got hats. You got, what else you have?
T-shirts and varsity jackets.
Where can they get a hold of this material?
The website is still under construction, but it is IamRichandFamous.com.
Okay. And you're affiliated with other websites. Industry Muscle. Industry Muscle.
That's my husband's website.
Yeah. And your husband been in the game for a while. Kind of like one of the founders of the game.
Yeah, he's that old.
Yeah. Damn, threw him away.
All right.
Yeah.
Hold on. I've been sitting over here for a minute. I'm not goddamn old. Goddamn, dog.
How is it that you do your thing without... You never really rode his coattails?
Thank God, because you know what? There's a lot of people on Twitter who will say otherwise.
Yeah, I always knew you for doing you.
Right.
Why don't you ride his coattails? I mean, that is
I didn't want to do that because
I rode him for a few times.
Yeah.
I popped out a few babies.
All right, that's something different. Yeah.
But I ain't riding nobody's coattail. No, I wanted to, people to take me seriously for what I do. Okay. And I didn't even want the affiliation of him or his help. Although he has helped me sometimes.
So can we start some trouble real quick? I want you to put somebody on blast.
Put somebody on blast?
Yes. This is going to be the part where the trouble starts. Who has tried to kick it to you without knowing you was married?
You know what's so funny? Let me say a story. Because he'll laugh. Last night, Lord, he's going to kill me. Stevie J.
Oh,